Hey guys, I want to make a quick video on, well, how to make currency, at least, since right now a lot of things are getting very cheap, so it might be a little bit hard to make a decent amount of currency without too much investment, because the idols, well, the good idols cost a lot, right? So I got a couple of ways for you guys, depending on your budget and, well, whatever I guess is your preferred way of making currency. So right now, for example, I'm doing Conquerors. I personally really like destructive play, so it is a little bit time consuming, but the returns are pretty good if you don't mind doing everything right. So I'll kind of show you what I've been doing with Conquerors. And to set this one up is a little bit tedious. It's not expensive. You do need a lot of idols with Conqueror chance. So these are generally from 5 to 10 chaos. So this whole thing is like 1 divine or something. Maybe a little bit more if you only get them for 10 chaos, right? And of course you need destructive play, and I have this, but I just didn't wanna find the last one. Was already tired after buying so many of these. But when it comes to Conquerors, so you can self-sustain the Conqueror maps. Right now, for example, since I started doing the strat, I had 0 Conqueror maps. I just ran a couple of Shaper maps, and then I slowly built up Conquerors, and now I am sustaining them off of themselves. So generally, each map you're going to be dropping, like I want to say around 1.5, 1.7 Conqueror maps, and of course you run them with destructive play, and then after that you get an invitation and you do the invitation, and you're going to be building up various types of things, you know, crests, Maven writs if you want to sell them or run them, it's up to you. I personally ran Cyrus. I ran 7 Cyruses yesterday, and I got pretty lucky. Got a couple of Awakener orbs. As you can see, I also have 3 Redeemers orbs. You know, Hunter ones are more expensive. This one is about 1 divine, but Hunter orbs are something like 2. So there's different things that you can get, and of course, if you want to really min-max the strat, you can also sell the bases. Sadly, I don't really have too many stash tabs, so I don't really do it too often, but you know, you can well, you can do that, right? Next up, so you can also run temples. Temples aren't for everyone, and they are pretty slow. They are guaranteed profits, so there's pretty much no randomness involved in there. The only thing you need is a couple of idols, and they're going to be very cheap, and you only really need these. You need one where killing resident architects or maps adds their upgrade tier to the surviving architects room, and 3 or 2 depending on the rolls, because this is from 30 to 50, but just 3 of these for a chance when killing non-resident architects to add a level to the surviving architect's room, right? So you only really need 4 idols, and you will be basically making around 50 to 70 chaos every 3 maps. Well, 4 if you don't have the 4 incursions per map. And you don't need to run scarabs with this one. You can. Let me check the price on the scarabs. Okay, so it's worth running scarabs because these generally pay off, especially if you only use them when you're running double temples, when you have both Dorianis Chamber and Locus of Corruption. Well, it can be level 1, right? It doesn't have to be Locus, it's just Corruption Chamber or whatever it's called. So you can run these. These reduce the profits, of course, but they speed up your profit acquisitions, I guess. You'll be dropping... It's basically 66% chance for you to get like another additional temple, something like 66% if I'm not mistaken. But you can run temples. Dorianis right now are about 50 chaos, Locusts are about 70, and if you go for the double one, it's about 90 chaos. So every 3 to 4 maps, you're going to be earning like half a divine or something like that if you're not running the scarabs. If you're running the scarabs, you're going to be earning a little bit more. So temples are an option. although, you know, they are a little bit time consuming and not for everyone, right? Not a lot of people like temples, but it's an option. Another thing you can do is run beasts. Now, right now, vivid vultures are 1.2 divines. So if you get some chance for the vultures, you're gonna be, you know, mostly getting the I forgot how they call the flying beasts, right? So from the flying beasts, there's pretty much only vultures and Sakawine uh, Rex. That one is like 30 cast or something like that, so you're not going to be making much out of those. But the good thing about beasts is that the scarabs are really, really cheap right now. You do need 2 of these, so, you know, they're basically free, right? You do need 2 of these, and of course, 1 doubling, I think it's called. Oh, it's duplicating. Yeah. And 1 of these, and you need a couple of idols. You don't need many. Let's see. I think I changed them. Yeah. Let me find it. Okay. So initially I was running wilds earlier in the league because Black Morgans were 3 divines, so you know, I was more concerned about Morgans, but right now you would be running the, you know, the flying beast. I forget how it's called. So get some chance with the flying beasts. The more the better. They're not like, these aren't expensive. Like, all you need is just chance and well, Einhar chance, of course, as well if you want, or you can use Scarab if you wish. Um, and then also you need for chances to appear in pairs. So you need 4, sorry, not 4, 5 of these idols, unless you uh, get the 25% chance on all of them. But you know, just get 5. It's not a big deal. So you get 5 of these idols, and then every single beast is gonna be 2 beasts, and then you have the scarab for duplicating, so you'll be getting 4 copies of each beast. For example, the last one before I stopped doing beasts, you know, I mean, these are useless, of course, but as an example, you will be always getting 4 beasts. So you find 1 vulture, it's gonna give you about 5 divines. So beasts are still very, very profitable, and they will continue to be profitable because right now a lot of people are crafting the mirror tier items, right? So vultures will be selling for the rest of the league pretty much. So you can farm vultures. You don't need to farm them in tier 16s. The only downside is that if you're farming in lower than tier 14s, you can't find Morgans. I think that's the only thing that you can find. But vultures, you can find them in tier 1s as well. So, you know, if your build isn't that great, you can just run lower tier maps. And I do recommend having a fast build for that. For example, I was farming beasts with my tornado shot on Surfcaster that has 150 movement speed, so I could, as soon as I see that the beast is bad, I just go past it, and you know, I just find I only kill the beasts that are good, right? Or to the best of my ability while I'm going through the map, you know. But yeah, beasts are still very profitable, and they are an option and will continue to be an option for a really long time. Now, if you don't want to do any of those and you just want to sit in your hideout, you can grab these jewels. So it can be any type of jewel. The only thing that it has to have is elemental skills, and all you do is just reforge crit. Or if it's on Crimson, you might want to reforge lightning, because the lightning crit multi has a little bit lower chance than fire, and actually cold is the same as lightning. Fire has a little bit higher chance, so you can be reforging either lightning or crit. Right now juice is very, very cheap, so if you do, for example, lightning, it's 50 of these primal ones per reforge. Of course, you know, I'm not gonna reforge this one, I wanted to show for the video, but this thing is pretty good. It's about 8 divines. So, you know, and I literally spent one. Well, you do need to buy the fractured jewel, right? This one cost me 100 chaos. This is one of the cheaper ones that were in the market at the moment. So, you know, find specifically with crit multi with elemental skills, because this is the lowest weight out of all the crit multis that we want. So you buy this one and then you just reforge lightning or crit. Lightning is a little bit cheaper. On green and red jewels, you're probably gonna wanna reforge crit. On the red one, just probably reforge lightning. I made this one with lightning and it cost me like 2k juice. Of course, I was, you know, pretty lucky, but point is, you will be making very good margins on these types of jewels. Another thing is you can reforge Broadhead Arrow Quiver specifically with Hunter influence with Chaos. I'm not gonna reforge this one because I might reroll into Caustic Arrow of Poison. This is a very nice quiver for Caustic Arrow of Poison, but for Hunter quivers you want double dot multi. So the quiver that I have, for example, has 2 very low rolls on double dot multi, right? And it is 3 divines. Yeah. Well, apparently it's more. Apparently it's 8, but I wouldn't really buy this one for 8 because it's very low rolls. I think the other ones in there are with a little bit higher rolls. But anyway, point is, get the Broadhead Arrow Quiver. These are about 45 chaos right now, and with Hunter influence, of course. And just reforge chaos, and every, I want to say like 20 rolls or something, maybe a little bit less. If you're lucky, you're gonna be getting a double dot multi, and for example, if you manage to roll a good amount of life or some attack speed or damage with bow skills, you can be set for quite some time. You're gonna get, you know, like 5 or more divines. So these are the options that you can do in base. And now lastly, for no idols to be bought, you can be running Sacred Groves. Right now everyone's farming harvest with idols, so these are very cheap. These are 20 chaos, and each of these will net you around 13 to 16 thousand of juice. And the juice varies, but at the moment all juice is very cheap. So you know, the profit margins on this thing is you know, they're pretty good. It is 4 maps, and your build does need to be able to handle a little bit tougher beasts, right? But it's an option for you to be to be running, right? The only downside is that you will be buying these on the trade market, which can be a little bit annoying. But if you scroll down a little bit and you pay like 21 or 22 chaos, generally you should be fine. So you can, you know, you can run this if you want. Now, lastly, one more thing is, if you again want to do a little bit of hideout warrioring, you can buy things like Swift Affliction. These, I mean, the prices for these vary, but not a lot of people are leveling these themselves. Most of the people are using beasts to level this, or Legion in some cases, right? You can buy wild bramblebacks, and right now they are about 35 chaos. So to level one Swift Affliction sport, well, you know, Swift Affliction is not a good example, but Void Manipulation, for example. Void Manipulations are, they're pretty cheap. Tier 1s, I mean, level 1s are like 50 or something chaos, maybe less. And level 3s, sorry, not level 3s, level 5s, uncorrupted, are 3 divines. And 4 bramblebacks are gonna cost you 1 divine, so technically you're making like 2x profit. So you can do that with beast crafting. To make some money if you want, you know. It really depends on what you want to do, what's not boring for you, you know, what type of person I guess you are. And yeah, these are the strats that you could be doing right now. Oh, one more thing. You can also be running breaches, specifically Esh Breaches. These things. So they are 13 chaos a pop. all you need is to hit one Voice of the Storms. Voice of the Storms right now is 4.5 divines. I was farming this for a while when they were 7 divines. So, you know, the profit margins on Breachstones were really good. Also, sometimes you can buy, for example, tools. Okay, these are 7, so maybe Zoffs. Also 7, but the Esh Stones right now fluctuate. Sometimes they go up to like 20 chaos. And when that happens, you're better off just buying a Zoff Breachstone or a Tool Breachstone or whichever Breachstone is the cheapest and just Harvest Reforging them. Harvest Reforge does cost you 400 wild juice, so you're gonna be able to do about 40 Reforges per 1 divine. So technically, you know, you can also get some Trayulas, some Ulnatols. Those are a little bit more expensive. So if you want to sit in base and just reforge Breachstones, you can also do that. But I would advise running Esh Breachstones. You don't really get much from them other than XP, of course, most of the time. But sometimes you can get a Claw that's well rolled, like 12-12, right? 12-12 Claw is like 50 chaos, so you know it's still something. And then of course you get these things, Blessings of Ash. These are 40 chaos, so there's a couple of things that you can get from there, but primarily you would be looking for Voice of the Storms, which is the biggest money from there, and you will hit it because one Voice of the Storms, 4.5 divines, and you can buy like 12 Breachstones for 1 divine. That's like 50 Breachstones for you to run to hit one Voice of the Storms. In my experience, it's about 1 in 15 or maybe 1 in 20. I think I got a total of 6 or 7 Voice of the Storms while I was farming Esh Breachstones. So, you know, you can do that and make some money, which doesn't need you to invest into any idols at all. So there you go, guys. Hopefully this video was useful and you know, you make some money. Let me know how it goes, and I will talk to you in the next one. Bye bye.